and welcome to today's episode of Sober on the Mic. Today we are joined by a friend of mine named Gethin, who is all the way in the Welsh valleys at the moment. Is it nice and windy up there for you at the moment, mate?
Oh, it's lovely in Wales, it is, but it's absolutely gorgeous up here. Strong wind, strong rain. I've had to move my iPad to a different part of the room because I've got no internet because the weather is so bad.
So yeah, we will get through that the best we can.
Yeah.
But we're going to start today like we do with every Sober on the Mic, and we're going to do the 20 quick questions. You ready for them, Gaff?
I am. Researched
Right
them
then.
well.
Question number 1. How old are you?
50.
50. It surprises me every time that you're 50.
I love it. Honestly, I love it when people, it makes my day. That's the highlight of every.
Yeah.
I like telling people my age.
Yeah.
I really do. Especially now I've grown my hair a bit.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, no, I'd solid put you mid-30s, so you're happy with that.
Thank you.
Where are you from?
Cardiff.
Cardiff. What's your star sign?
Gemini.
Gemini. Are you a cat person or are you a dog person?
Dog.
Dog. You've got a doggy, haven't you?
I have, with a bad eye.
Oh no!
Yeah, he woke up this morning, he's got a really manky eye.
Oh, bless him, the poor boy. We're going to have to get an eye patch on him like a pirate. What one word would your friends use to describe you?
Eccentric.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Do you have a quote or a mantra that you live by?
To infinity and beyond.
I like that. Who is your hero?
Oh, I don't know. My dad.
Your dad.
My dad, which is a cheesy one, but yeah, my dad.
Yeah, everyone's answer is like a family member, whereas mine would be like, oh yeah, mine's Eric Candidly.
Yeah, I know. There's sort of two things. My dog as well. My dog, because he saved my life on more than one occasion, so he's definitely up there.
He's definitely up there.
Yeah.
What is a song that always lifts your mood?
Holiday by Green Day.
Yeah. I knew it would be potentially a Green Day song.
yeah, that's something I listened to that this morning actually.
Yeah.
That always gets me going. That is, I like singing that when it gets me.
Yeah. Who would play you in the movie of your life?
I should have looked at these questions, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you should.
Jack Nicholson.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I think he'd be able to pull off the benders pretty well.
Yeah. And who would do the soundtrack to this movie?
Oh. 9 Inch Nails.
Oh.
Trent Renzer from 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, that's it, because he does lots of soundtracks and stuff, doesn't he? That's a good one.
As well. They're really good
as
well, yeah.
That's a good one. If you could have a dinner party with a famous person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Chester Bennington from Linkin Park.
Yeah, people are getting a good flavour of your taste in music here, aren't they?
Yeah. This is pretty varied, mind you.
Yeah. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
To lift 300 kilograms on a bar with no spotter 10 times unaided. Boom. That'd be happy with that. That would make
That's a good answer.
In every gym I go to, just so I can do that. Yeah.
Do you have a guilty pleasure band, TV show, or film that you love?
Yeah, I've got a film. I really love The Happening with what's his name? I can't remember the name of the actor. It's with the one where the trees are killing everybody and the air is killing, and it got absolutely slated. Everybody thinks it's shit. Everybody, literally, it's got like 1% on Rotten Tomatoes. But I think it's a really good film, and I've watched it over and over. It's one of my go-to films. It's the guy who did Sixth Sense.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah. So it's one of his, and he does awful films, but I just like the way he does things. And the weirdness of what he does, and this is one of them. So it's.
I might watch that. Maybe we can get it up to 2% on Rotten Tomatoes.
You'll hate it. You'll think it's awful. Honestly, everyone does. I've met one person who said they like it. Every person I say, I really like that film, they're gonna go, what? How can you like it? But I do. There we go.
Right, well, I'm watching that.
Yeah.
And I know the answer to this, but I'm always going to put it out there because someone will actually agree with me for once. Do you support a football team, and who?
I do. Manchester United for my sins.
Yeah, it's
But
really
it could
easy
be
at the
worse.
moment, isn't it?
I could support Liverpool, couldn't I?
Fantastic. Right. So now we're getting into the more kind of nitty gritty sort of thing.
Okay.
So when you were using,
Yeah.
what was your drug or drugs of choice?
I'd say my main two drugs were alcohol and cocaine. They sort of went hand in hand. I did a lot of drugs earlier in my life, a lot of ecstasy, a lot of speed, a lot of things, but things came and went and fell to one side. A lot of marijuana I've smoked throughout the years, but the ones that stayed with me were cocaine and alcohol. They were the ones I liked, the ones
Yeah.
that I enjoyed the most, you
Yeah.
know, and the ones that liked me the most, I think, and went with my mental health issues and everything that I needed to deal with in here. Those dealt with them quite well.
Yeah. And how old were you when you first thought, oh, I've got a little bit of a different relationship with alcohol or drugs or whatever than other people?
12, something like that, I would say. I was maybe totally unaware of it, but I remember it. So the fact that I remember, I was brought up in a restaurant, so for me, it was easy to go downstairs and steal bottles of house wine. And I was aware that they didn't stock take the house wine. They stock took the good wines, but not the house wine.
Yeah.
And only 12 years old, why am I even knowing that stuff?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I knew. So I go down and I take these bottles and I bring them upstairs and I drink them in my bedroom. And I lived in a big house, so I could do it without being seen.
Yeah.
And I go to school the next day. And I thought nothing of that.
No.
Yeah, at 12 is when I remember, but it could have been earlier than that. It could have been sipping things and drinking things in the restaurant when I used to blow the candles out. I do that from a very, very young age. Yeah, definitely.
It's fascinating how many people we've spoke to who it is early teens. It's kind of instantly. It's instant that.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think it's something I learned. I think it's something I was born with. I think
yeah.
I think I have that addictive personality, and I think the fact that I had it at such a young age without even knowing what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't in my control. It was something that my mental health and things that I learned later on in life about what I had and what, but that was a big, from a very young age, very young age.
So that leads us in quite nicely. So that's the kind of quick fire question so our audience can get to know you. And now we're kind of going to go into your story and kind of pick out some advice along the way. So however you wish to start, tell us your story and your journey with addiction and through to recovery.
I think an important thing, I think, for me personally, I've never really considered myself an addict as such. And I think that's really important because not everybody, but lots of people suffer with addiction. And now, if I look at the last 20 years of my life, 15 years of that have been sober.
Yeah.
But those 5 years, I've nearly topped myself on many occasions. So for me, it's a mental health thing, and I deal with my mental health by abusing whatever drug I can abuse.
Yeah.
Deal with what's in my head. But when I don't want to use it, I don't use it. It's not there. It's nothing. It's gone.
Yeah.
I've urged it. It's just not there. So it's a strange one for me, and I think a lot of it comes from the start of. I went to boarding school at a very young age, and that really affected me quite badly because I didn't like boarding school. I didn't get on with the children in boarding school. It was a very academically brilliant school, and I wasn't academically brilliant. I could sing, so that's why I was there at that school, and it affected me a lot. And I think that going to that school to the age of 13 and then leaving and going to a day school, because it was a very big change for me, that I was I didn't know anything about life at all up until that age, you know. And then I went to another school, and even though that was another private school that was a good school, there were people from different walks of life and things. So that's when I started hanging around with sort of people who, you know, the bad boys sort of type
Yeah.
thing, and started, and I got in with that straight away. So I would say, you know, around, you know, that 13 was when
Mm.
things started going off the rails for me. And I rebelled against my family, or you know, my mother. And you know, she may watch this, and I have no resentments about it now. But I did rebel against her wanting to be an opera singer like my dad,
Yeah.
and so I didn't want that, so I just went full on the other way. And yeah, that it all went absolutely mental from that sort of age. You know, I lived with no idea of what life was, of what living was. I lived in quite an affluent family, so I had money was there. I had things that I used to steal money off my mother regularly, to buy booze and go partying and do things. And this went on right up until my sort of 20s. You know, I had a house bought for me. I was 25 when my daughter was born. I stayed with the mother of my daughter for maybe 6 months, and we had a house, a car, and she left because I just wasn't ready. I was partying, I was out, I was doing
Yeah.
things. It got to a stage. I worked throughout this, you know. Catering is something that I got into, and I was very good at catering, and I was able to work in catering and still drink and use drugs, etc., and go partying all the time. So I did that for a long time, and ended up. I worked at the Celtic Manor. I started in 1994, 95, 96, somewhere around then anyway. And I worked through there till I had my own restaurant then. I went to work in a place called Candidly restaurant in Newport. And I stopped drinking. That's the first time I stopped drinking, was when I went to the Chandlery, simply because it was something I could see I could make a success of. And I was happy, I think, for the first time
Yeah.
in my life. I think that was 2002. So I would have been 24, 20, 20 no, 26, 27. Bloody hell, I'm old.
Mm.
Like that. Anyway, I was in my late 20s, and I think that's the first time I was happy. So that's why I stopped. I could stop. I smoked a bit of weed, and I got totally addicted to that restaurant there. I
Yeah.
became absolutely, every day I was there, I was work, and I did that from 2002 up until 2006, completely sober. And I burned myself out like any addict. I just went, you know, and I know I have addictive personalities. I don't say I'm an addict to alcohol as such, but I am an addict to everything.
Yeah.
And I'll take everything to the extreme. And I did with that job, and I burnt myself out completely. And I remember what it was. Somebody said to me, you haven't got an issue with alcohol, mate. What are you on about? Fucking hell. Just go and have a drink. And I did. I just thought, all right. And I just went out that
Yeah.
night with a girl I was seeing. I had quite a bit of money at the time, so I was buying champagne in this restaurant. Got absolutely off my face. Started to coke in the toilets with the manager, and I was off my head went, you know, because I was really upset and depressed that I'd done that.
Yeah.
You know, that always happens. You know, I always get these things in my head. I want to do it, and then. And like everything, you know, afterwards, it's horrific. And my mental health takes an absolute battering when I drink
Yeah.
and do cocaine. You know, it takes an absolute battering. So, yeah, that went on for years and years. You know, I went in and out of jobs, and I was doing this. And then in 2013, I went to work for Kaleidoscope, which is a drugs and alcohol agency. And I got sober and clean in 2012, sorted myself out. And once again stayed sober for years and years then doing that, because I loved it and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. And yeah, I did that for years and helped lots of people and helped myself, and it was brilliant. But then something happened. I got shat on quite badly, and I went off and started using again, because
Mm.
I never dealt, and I know this is something, this is a big 12-step thing. I never dealt with all the things that are in here. You know, it was always, I'd have something and I'd love it and I'd get into it. But when the shit hit the fan, so to speak, I had nothing to fall back on.
Yeah.
You know, I hadn't dealt with all these things in my head and my youth, my childhood and my resentments, and that would all come to the fore, and I just go, and
Yeah.
I go off. So that happened again, and you know, right up until 2019, then just my dad was very, very ill. And around this time in 2019, I realized that my dad was going to die.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be going out every weekend doing coke and partying, because they were going to call me when he died.
Yeah.
And so that was my initial thing. I just thought, I'm going to stop because I need to stop. And it wasn't like I was on it constantly, but I'd be out every weekend on it, you know, proper on it,
Yeah.
like, you know, and I'd go on benders that if I wasn't working or wasn't doing things, my benders could last a week. You know, I could
Yeah.
be on it for a week easily. And yeah, my dad's dying made me think I need to stop. And that stop just carried on. And it's been hard, you know, there's been ups and downs, massive ups and downs, health-wise, mentally. It's been very, very difficult for me, because I've had to face the fact that I have quite severe mental health problems at times.
Mm.
I suffer with chronic anxiety about things. I mean, crippling anxiety about
Yeah.
about things that are outside of my little bubble. As you know, I moved to Exeter for a year, and a lot of that, I think, is due to the fact that I had these major surgeries. I'm jumping around a bit here, but in
It's all right.
2020, I got very ill with my Crohn's. My stomach got very, very bad, and then by 2023, it had got to a point where I needed surgery to fix it. So in February of 2024, I had major surgery on my stomach. 6.5 hour surgery, moved parts of my stomach. And I had a stoma bag then for 8 months. And then that was reversed in October of last year. But that whole year last year was by far the hardest year of my life.
Yeah, I was going to say you kind of talk about it like you go over it quite quickly, but it was a huge thing
Oh,
in your
huge.
life.
It
Huge.
was huge.
Everything you knew about how you lived your life had to change over that period of time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you know, I moved to Exeter very, very quickly, and there was no one to blame for it. The person I was with at the time she was a wonderful person. You know, she really was, and did
Mm.
everything that she could. But I just wasn't. I didn't want to be there. You know, I didn't
No,
want to. I wanted to be at home. I
at
wanted to come home.
home.
I wanted to. I didn't. I didn't like it. I'll be honest. I
Mm.
just didn't like it. I didn't feel at home, and it wasn't for me. And it was so hard. You know, I I nearly ended my life on more than one occasion
Yeah,
last year. You
yeah.
know, really, really, and that, I know I'm not telling anybody, not doing. I planned things and did
Mm.
things that I look back on now and think, wow, you know, that's it.
That's scary.
Yeah, scary, really scary. And I brought parts of that back to Wales. You know, I came to Wales, and initially I was very, very great. I'm back, oh, everything's wonderful. And then of course life hits you,
Yeah,
and other things come into it. And it's been a nice year. You know, I've met somebody while I've been here, which was totally unexpected. It wasn't
yeah,
something that was going to, and that's been really good for me, because it's a good relationship. You know,
yeah,
it's a strong, healthy relationship, and I think I needed that. Um, but I still struggle. I struggle with my mental health
mm.
a lot. I don't think I fully recovered from last year, to be honest. I think
Yeah,
it was such a huge thing for me to go through, that I'm still a bit messed up with it, to be
mm.
honest. You know, and that's something I have to keep an eye on, because when my head's not in a good place, I want to black out.
Yes. Just want
That's
to
what I
tell it
want
to
to do.
shut up. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I want to do. You know, I want to out to the pub. I want to smash as many pints in me as possible, and then do as many shots as I possibly can, so I don't remember going home. And then I'll be all right then.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a worry, because it's there. You know, I don't lie about it. It's not something I think, oh great, I'm ex whatever sober, and I've done this work and I'm great and I feel good and I'm fit. You know, I go to the gym every day, and that's been a huge part of my recovery, is keeping fit. But that's an addiction itself. I think a lot of my issues last year were because I couldn't go to the gym and I couldn't keep fit.
Yeah, I was going to say that is that place that you put that addictive personality stuff, where you do that to, like, in a good way, is with your gym, and when you weren't able to do that, that must have been like you were in a cage.
Yeah, totally. And losing, you know, I couldn't eat properly with my stomach, and literally I just lost 2.5 stone in 2 months, and it was just that was so, it's just like, well, what's the point? It really is. And that's, I struggle with it big time now, because I've got a big hernia now in my stomach, which is something that's happened after the surgery, and that has to be operated on again now next year. So I've got another major surgery to go to again. Yeah. And you know, they could have done it this year, and I don't want it. I don't want another surgery this year, because I'm worried. One, I'm worried about how I'm going to come out of it, and two, I just want a whole year of enjoying myself and doing things. But it's not getting better, and I can feel it, and it's a big lump in my stomach, and so I'm going to have the way I'm trying to look at life in general now is that I'm 50 years old, and I don't think I'm going to have as long on this earth as your average Joe, because of my stomach issues, because my stomach is so fragile, and that the surgeons told me that, you know, you're going to have issues later on in life. You're going to have huge issues with that. So I'm just trying to make the most of what I can now, because I know it's not going to last. And it could go like that. Yeah. If it's something pops or something breaks, and it could do, then that's that, because, you know, you only get one chance, don't you? So I do try and make the most of every day. Yeah. I try and do I mean, I don't work, and I can't work because of my stomach. No. I can't do that now. I'm into doing some PT work next year, which would be good for me, something I can do on my own. But I just want to try and make the most of what I've got while I am fit and healthy. Yeah. You know, because I know it's limited, you know, and I know I've wasted so much of my time, you know. And doing it for my hero, my dad, that's another thing that's constantly on my mind, because he was very fit, very healthy. And he always used to say to me, why didn't you go to the gym and get that and get, and I used to go, what are you on about? Like, I don't want to go to, and now I think, God, I wish I had, you know, I wish I'd done that. So I do, I often, my mum says to me, you know, your dad would be so proud of you, and would, you know, and so that's there. So that's where I'm at. I think that's where I'm at. I probably missed loads of stuff, and it's a life of ups and downs. Some days are brilliant, some days I still have urges to use quite a bit. Yeah. But I also enjoy helping other people, and I love telling people about alcohol, and the fact that it's, because people don't get the fact it's a drug. Yeah. Why do you say alcohol and drugs? That's that's a real bugbear for me. People need to stop saying alcohol and drugs. And on a professional level, agencies, etc., need to start saying drugs, including alcohol. Yeah. For now, and then in the end, we'll just say drugs. Yeah. Because by saying alcohol and drugs, you're separating alcohol from everything, as if that's, oh well, alcohol, because it's legal, that's totally fine. When actually, in reality, it's probably the most harmful drug you can get. No, it's up there, isn't it? It's up there with heroin, definitely. Yeah. You know, I've smoked heroin, and I never got addicted to that. It wasn't for me. But alcohol, I love alcohol. Yeah. And I've nearly died drinking alcohol on more than one occasion. You know, not even from the alcohol, from what it's done to my head. Really, yeah. And it's a thing here in Britain that we have to drink. That we have to, that if you go out to enjoy yourself, you have to drink alcohol. You have to, and you don't. It's yeah. I don't like to drink and drugs. I
No.
think that's a real. I think that's something that really needs to be looked at. It's
Yeah.
something that really needs to be looked at.
It's very true that because you see it obviously with the job I do, you constantly see it that people not identifying as addicts because they don't use drugs, they use alcohol, and it's like what you're doing is really harmful for you. It's a poison,
Yeah,
and it's there's something about because it's legal and in the shops that people's relationship with it I personally think it just gives more to the denial process. The concept of
of
everyone's doing
course
it,
it
so
does.
why can't I?
Of course it does. Because I speak to people and say, say the alcohol and that it's a drug. At the end, it's just a drug, and you're using a drug to get drunk, just like John over there's using heroin to to lose. And then people go, God, yeah, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah,
I've never thought of it as just. Well, of course, of
yeah,
course it is. It's. And I think people, when they do see it like that, a lot of people think, oh, fuck, I don't want to do it. But then I think these things, and I talk about all these things, yet in my head at times, I think, God, I want to drink.
yeah.
And that's the madness of it,
That's the madness of
I,
it, isn't it?
I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm talking about all these things, making the most of my life, blah, 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 blah.
But that
And yet
voice.
there are moments that I just think, God, I just want to go and get
Mm,
absolutely wasted now.
yeah,
I just want to go out. Like I'm going out on Friday for a meal. And my partner is incredible and support me the whole way. She won't drink, she'll drive to support the
mm,
fact that, but in my head, I think, God, that's boring. Guys, I feel really boring, and
yeah,
I feel like I'm letting her down because she should be able to go and drink and enjoy herself and have it because she's not a big drinker. And
mm,
why is she supporting me in doing that? And I should, why don't I go and have a couple of drinks as well? It's the bubble in my head, I
yeah,
constantly do that. We'll make bullshit excuses up in
yeah,
my head to
yeah,
try and justify the fact that I could go out and get. Well, you're not an alcoholic. God, for God's sake, you just go out and get fucking wasted.
yeah,
You'll be fine. Like
yeah,
you won't.
yeah. That voice that gets you in traps constantly is one of the hardest things to manage, I think, is that
Yeah, it is.
being like, yeah, that's great, but that's not the reality, is it? If I have one, that one will become 1 month, like
Yeah,
3 months, and I
that's
won't
it
stop.
exactly.
Yeah,
No, that's it exactly. It's so hard to stop. The hardest part of stop is starting up again. Is that whole
mm,
God? I've done 2, 3, 4, 5 years of not having a drink. I know I've gone wasted. Why should I bother staying sober now? I'll just get wasted again.
yeah,
And that's what I would. I
yeah,
would. I'd have one night out, and I could make all. And we're very good at giving the bulls. Come on, tell my partner. Can we just have one good night? One good, yeah, yeah. And then, the next weekend, I'd be like, yeah, come on, it's
yeah,
Christmas. And then January, when everyone else stops, I'd be in the pub on the floor pissing myself
mm,
with no one else in the
yeah,
pub, like.
because one isn't enough for us.
And yeah, because I've just carried on the party, and so and I know that that's going to happen because that's what's always happened.
Yeah,
That's the way it
yeah,
always goes, and it never ends well. And the only time I start doing it is when my head isn't right. So I have
yeah,
to keep on top of that and keep
yeah,
talking to people about it and keep being honest. And I'm very lucky that my partner and I are very open and honest about where we're at mentally, and she
yeah,
suffers with her own mental health issues, and I like the fact that I can be open about that
yes.
and say things like that. So
You have to be,
that's
don't
important.
you? You
Yeah,
just,
yeah, you have to
you
be.
just
Yeah,
have
you
to
have to
be.
be. I think it's good to have somebody who gets it, because I
Yeah,
think people can say things and do the right things, but a lot of people don't get it,
don't
and
get
they
it.
just don't. Why, they don't really understand. Whereas I know that she certainly does. She
Yeah,
gets me. That's yeah, that's a big part
yeah,
of where I'm at. Where I'm at
yeah.
mentally at the moment.
So you're so honest about the relationship between your mental health and your substance use. I know a lot of people kind of do that chicken and egg, what comes first. For you, it's really, you're really clear, like once this goes,
Yeah.
everything's kind of free rein. How do you manage that on a daily basis? How do you manage chronic anxiety, the depression that comes with health issues and things like that? How do you manage it?
Fitness is how I managed. The anxiety is something that's only come on, excuse me, quite recently. I'd say around June of this year, there was something that happened, and it clicked something in me. And I hadn't had anxiety, not anxiety. I'd had chronic depressive episodes
Yeah.
and be suicidal, like I said, at that time. But I hadn't had anxiety when I lived. Not bad anyway. But I had an episode of absolutely crippling anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where I couldn't eat, and I haven't really recovered from that because I wasn't expecting that
No.
anxiety to come in. The other parts of it, I use my addictive nature. I go to the gym, or I do a form of exercise every day. I do something, and that is it just sorts my mental health out.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I know people, because if you don't get it, you don't get it. And I used to look at people who go to the gym every day and post pictures of the gym every day, and I think, what?
Yeah.
Wow. But now I get it. I love it. Like,
Yeah.
they're not doing it to show off. They're doing it because they're just like, look, they love it. Like the buzz you get.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. I hate it some days. You know, I hate going to the gym, but guaranteed, and I mean this, every single time I leave the gym, I feel a million times better than I
Yes.
did when I went in. So that's how I deal with my mental. I knacker myself out.
Yeah. Try and burn it out.
That's what I do. I by 8 o'clock. I'm ready for bed, and I go to bed between 8 and 9 every single night because I'm shattered by then.
Yeah.
You know, I do, I do crazy things like I did the Tenavan in 2022. I'm doing Tenavan next year now, where we do Penavan 10 times in 24 hours. I need things like that, you know. Really,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. That's what's taken my. And so many people you see in addiction don't even go into that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they hiking and gym and that. And it works. It works. But the anxiety is. I know why it's happening. And it's something I have spoken about, but it's still there, and I don't know how to stop it at the moment. I don't know how to work on it, and I don't know what to do with it, because when it comes on to me, it's really, really, really crippling. Really crippling.
And then when you've had that, you then worry that that's going to happen again, don't you? That kind of
Oh
feeds the beast, doesn't it? Yeah.
And it will happen again. I know it will. You know, I have like my brother and his family are coming from New Zealand this Christmas to spend time with the family, which should be a brilliant thing. You know, and I get on with my brother and the family. We're not close, but we're not close family, really. But there's no anger or anything. But I have chronic anxiety about it.
Yeah.
You know, the thought of going out of my bubble and having to do, and then spending Christmas Day with my girlfriend's family, that gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like that. Like, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
And
Are you a big one for routine as well?
Oh yeah, massive.
Like, if that
massive.
routine's out,
routine's huge for me. Huge. It's it's huge. I very much, I do the same things very much every day.
Yeah.
Unless I'm with my partner. If I'm with my partner, I go off and do, and it doesn't, as long as I have my gym, I do my gym hour.
Yeah.
But then I can go off and I eat whatever and I do it. But when I'm on my own here in my little bubble in Pontypool, I will do the same thing every single day, and I eat the same foods every single day. And it's an ADHD thing, isn't it? It's a slightly autistic look at it.
But without our routine, we're fucked.
Yeah. You know, I may not be diagnosed with ADHD. People have said to me before, you've got bipolar, you've got this, you've got that. But I've never been diagnosed with anything as such. I just think I'm a bit just not wired right, you know. But things like this thing today, like I can't do anything now today because I've got this.
Yeah.
You know, literally, I couldn't go to the gym. I did a home workout, but I'm just like, right, just waiting, just like, right, okay.
Waiting for 1 o'clock. Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah. It's it's our own little madness, and it's how you manage it, isn't it? And it's who we are, and then managing that for good, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, just every day. Every day is a different day, and every day I look at it. You know, the AA saying one day at a time, and
Yeah.
I do try and take it one day at a time, because that's the way my life is. You know, I don't have a huge amount of money, for example, so I live every day at a time with what I've got this amount
Mm.
so I can do this. I got this,
Yeah.
coming to the end of the month, I think, well, I can't do much now, and so I just live every day as it comes, and
Yeah.
just try and get through every. That sounds horrible. Don't try and get through every day, but that's what it's
But
like sometimes.
yeah, that's all you can do sometimes,
And
isn't it? Is a day by day.
that's much better than not getting through every day. You know
Yeah. Yeah.
you know this year has been a good year. You know, I'm so happy I'm back in Pontypool, because I'm back with my community, and this is where I
Yeah.
feel my home is. You know, I feel at home, and so that part of me is great. But I haven't really done a huge amount. You know, my stomach is still absolutely fucked.
Mm.
But I just I just every day, just little bits, just try and do a little bit every day to try and make
Yeah.
things better. But yeah, ups and downs. This anxiety at the moment is something that I need to work on in the new year. That's something I know that
Yeah.
has got hold of me slightly.
Yeah. For anyone listening to this who wants to make a change but is petrified, what would you recommend to them to do? What would your advice be to them?
I think if someone's I mean, if you're an addict and you think because if you're drinking or drugging, not drugging because you're all drugs, whatever you're using, and you go to a meeting, go to a 12-step
Yeah.
meeting, because it's open all the time. It's there. You don't have to make an appointment. You can just walk into a meeting, and going into meetings will save your life.
Yeah.
It will save your life. So I say to anybody, if they're really in the shit, just go get your ass to a meeting.
Yeah.
And then go from there, and take it from there. But that's where it doesn't cost anything. It's not 9 to 5. It's not Monday to Friday.
Mm.
It's there constantly. And over the years, the stories I've heard about people in the fellowship and what they've done for other people is it's mind blowing. Some of
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
just through the want of doing it, and
Yeah.
people who've really gone out of their way to help other people, and it's. Yeah, and it's got its, it might not be for you, it might be for you. The God thing gets people, and I know that, but I've always had a time for it. I've always had time for
Yeah.
it, and I think learning about things like the mental obsession with alcohol, and then
Yeah.
the physical addiction to alcohol, it's huge. It's
Yeah.
the fact it's been around since 1938 and it's still going strong. There's got to be something in
I
it,
was
isn't
going to say there's something to it, isn't
there?
there?
But there's everything. There's things everywhere. I mean, AANA, whatever. It wasn't for me, but I learned a lot from it, and I still
Yeah.
use whatever in just because I don't go, I don't go to meetings or whatever. And I've been in a lot of meetings, and I learned a
Yeah.
lot. A
Yeah.
lot from them. I really did. It's a good fellowship, and there's some really good people
Yeah.
in there. And I think I'd say that's. And there's mental health groups as well, aren't there now? Left, right, and centre.
Yeah. And things like Andy's Man Club is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, isn't
There
it?
is, yeah, it is one in Pontypool now, and it's a bit of a worry for me, this mental health thing. I think it needs to be regulated massively, because
Yeah.
everybody and anybody is jumping on the mental health wagon.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, I'm big on Instagram with my stoma stuff and all that, and I'm seeing influencers who were models, whatever, and were doing, TikTok content and porn,
Yeah.
and they're going into this fucking mental health, and they're posting videos about mental health, and I'm there for you and all that. And I'm thinking, wow, these people needs regulated, because they got
Yeah.
no background at all. There's people opening mental health groups left, right, and centre, There's no DBS checks being done. There's no checks
Yeah.
about who these people are, what their background is, and you can open one. All you have to do is make a sign, Gethin's Mental Health Club every Wednesday night, 6 o'clock till 7. Boom, and that's all you have to do. You don't have
Yeah.
to. You don't have to explain or prove yourself. You could be anything. You could be, and it's so it's going against what we're talking about. Sorry, but
But
that's
it's true
something
though. It's that
I'm really
concept.
worried about that at the
It's
moment.
that
I'm really,
beware of false prophets. So since I've started this podcast, the amount of recovery coaches I have seen who I'm like, oh, do you fully understand the process of this? And have you got all your DBS checks and all your interventions training? And it, yeah, it's beware of
it's
false prophets.
all about that. There's money.
It's
There's
yeah,
big money involved in it at the moment. Big money.
yeah,
I'm seeing people opening centres up, and they're without going. There are people I know that aren't. That they're not doing it because they want to help
yeah,
people. They're doing it because they're making good money out of it, and
yeah,
they're making big money out of it. And it's
yeah,
wrong. It's really wrong.
yeah. I think it's
It's
really important to get that message out there of be careful
Yeah,
of
be
what
really
support
careful.
you get in, and
Yeah, yeah.
if it's a
Go to a
trained
proper
professional to
organisation.
help you,
Yeah, I said go to a proper organisation.
yeah,
And let them guide you as to where to go. Also, and as someone who is a bit mental and needs help from time to time, I could be the first place I go to and think, and somebody who's running the mental health group might not like me and say, oh, yeah, whatever, yeah, not for me, and then I could be like, wow, it didn't work, right? Nothing's worked. And it really is
yeah, it can really,
and you never see me again. It's
yeah,
a
it can
really
create a
worrying thing.
landslide, can't it?
I think it is. But yeah, I'm glad I said that because I wanted to try and bring that up at some point because there are, like yourself and other people, there are lots of good people there, but there's so many more
Yeah,
people who aren't genuinely, and literally good person. Oh, there's another good person amongst all
yeah,
the, the bullshitters who just aren't in it for anything but the dollar.
but the dollar,
It's
yeah, it's a really, really, really good point, and I think it's something. I think more people now are going to try and engage in online help and things like that, and you got to make sure it's safe, yeah, and the
yeah.
person isn't going to cause you more harm than good.
I don't think I don't think they do. Who does? Who knows when they go to these groups other than the official big ones? But these groups, just like John's mental health group on a Thursday in wherever, and there's lots of people going to them, and they got no training and nothing. They just
No.
go in and going, yeah, I've had mental health issues. Let's all have a chat, and people telling their in-depth,
Mm,
issues, and it worries me, man. It really
yeah,
does.
it does me
It does.
too.
Mm.
So my final question for you before we kind of wrap up is, do you have any books, albums, anything really that you would recommend someone to listen to at home to listen to or to read that would help them?
Oh, that's a good one. No. I can't think of any. Alice in Chains' Dirt. There's an album that is literally written about drug addiction by a band called Alice in Chains, and that's one of my. It's not has never helped me in any way, shape, or form, but it's such a strong. I mean, it was written in '92, I think it was, and Lane Staley, who was the lead singer, heroin
Mm,
addict, he died heroin overdose not long ago. But that album is widely regarded as the grunge album.
yeah,
And it's all about heroin addiction, and it's so deep and hefty, and
powerful.
it's made me cry on a few occasions. So that's an
Yeah,
album that I would listen to. But I don't know about books. There's lots of books. I like reading books about people in addiction and people who've gone through it. I like reading
yeah,
things about people who really struggled with it, and I've read
yeah.
some really good books, but I can't think what they are off the top of my head. No. And I used to like watching, what was that program on the American Intervention? Was it on the American?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I've watched every single episode.
Yeah. Oh, I
But
forgot about that.
that was a good. I tell you one more. No, I tell you what I'd watch. There was something called, it's on YouTube, and it's called Rain in My Heart, and it's a British documentary that a guy did about, I think, 5 or 6 chronic alcoholics.
Yeah.
And it's mind blowing. It's very raw. It's just him with a video camera, and it's hardcore. It's showing the true nature of what it's like to be
Yeah.
a chronic alcoholic.
Yeah.
You're not looking at people enjoying their life out partying. You're looking at people sitting at home killing themselves.
Yeah.
And he's just there videoing it, and it's war, and in the hospitals, and he got
Yeah.
access to like
Proper
Rain in My Heart.
eye-opening. Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it. It's an old one. It's got to be early noughties, maybe late 90s. But wow, yeah, it's something I'll watch it again. I'll watch it. I haven't watched it for years, but I've watched it a lot of times, and there's one person in particular on there, and I related to him a lot when I watched it. You know, the way he drank and the way his head was. So there we Rain in My Heart.
Cool. I'll chuck a link in
now
that on this. Yeah.
Yeah. I presume it's still on YouTube. It was on
I'd
there
imagine
before.
it will be. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was another one. Before we go, there was another one about a Scottish wet house, and it was a house in Scotland, and if you were a chronic street alcoholic, you could live there.
Oh
And
wow.
this was a documentary on them living in this wet house in Scotland. And oh my God, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. Just the wow. It really is. It's heartbreaking. Some of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely is. So I can't remember what that was called. That was another one. Yeah, that's another old one, but a British one. But yeah, there we are.
Yeah, they used to be quite grittier back in the day, didn't they?
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. And those intervention ones, I mean, they were mental, because I remember watching one, and the woman just drank mouthwash. That was her drink of choice, and she downed balls and bottles of mouthwash, and it was like, wow, like, you know. And there was another one, you know the screen stuff you do to she just literally
bump it
all
up
day sticking that up her nose, and it was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy, like
it's so powerful, isn't it? How the mind connects to something.
Yeah, no, it is, and how you pick. You know, people pick a drug, like, you know, like I've done numerous amount of drugs, yet none of them really did anything for me. But you know, alcohol and cocaine, I loved them.
That did it.
You know?
Yeah.
That was my thing. For other people, it's like,
it's weird, isn't it? How everyone has their own different kind of poison, isn't it? Pick your poison.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today, Geff, mate. It's been
a pleasure.
Really, really brilliant. And I can't wait to get this one out there for everyone to listen to. So yeah, everyone will hopefully give you lots of likes and thumbs up and all that sort of stuff. That's good for the old self-esteem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. And we'll be back for next week's episode. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everyone.